What's up, everybody? I'm Metal Nick,
I'm Jeff Grindstoffer.
and welcome to episode number 67 of Vinyl Bang. Today, we are doing Discogs Game Part 2.
The last one was so much fun, dude. Fucking picking random shit in our collections and like having to explain ourselves. And, I mean, like that's how the first one was. This time it was just like I want to know like about bands that I'm not familiar with. So I want to take a different approach and stuff.
Yeah, that was my goal this time. Like, I know I picked one band that I absolutely do know who they are, but for you, but the rest of these are things I've never heard of before. So I was like, let me pick some non-Mike Patton, Travis Ryan, Buzz Osborne related projects for Jeff to talk about.
AJ,
Uh,
nothing with
um,
Adam Jarvis in it.
Yeah, I don't know how many projects he's got too, but I'm sure. Hopefully, I didn't avoid something there. But all right,
Oh yeah.
yes. So we're starting off. Where to put my phone because like I have these titles. I only just wrote down on my list the bands. First one I have picked for Jeff. Apparently, this band has changed their name up for this particular release. So Jeff, maybe you can explain it for us. If I get my mouse working here, but yes, the first one I picked for Jeff is a band called Vaxxed Head, My Pfizer Nurse. Vaxxed, like
Oh,
vaccinated.
Vaxxed, yes, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it was referring to. So the thing about this project, like, I was never a fan. I never even knew about the project Faxed Head
Hmm.
back in the early '90s or mid '90s or whenever it was, and who it involved and whatever. And I don't remember if I was talking to Travis Ryan about it or the good doctor Steve Goldberg, who I was talking to about this project. But they were, I believe it was Travis. He was telling me about this project that Trey Spruance was in called Faxed Head, and my radar just immediately just like I have to know more about this project. And like not too long after that, they had announced that they were going to do this thing called Vaxed, VAXED, as opposed to Faxed, FAXED head. And they did this thing. They did a lath cut 7-inch with two songs, uh, released during the pandemic, and I jumped at the chance because first off, they only did 60 of these things, and I was on time, whatever it was. I was able to grab one, so I grabbed a copy of this lath cut clear, like on the lath material, plexiglass or whatever it is. But the band is referred to as the Vaxxed Head, where Vaxxed Head is just Vaxxed Head. My Pfizer Nurse, and the two tracks are Institute for Health, or no, I'm sorry, A Salute to the Pioneers of Vaccination, and My Pfizer Nurse, PFIZER, the vaccination company or whatever. Uh, for those of you who don't know, and I still really don't know who this project consists of, Trace Bruins is, of course, the guitar player. Greg Turkington, who majority of you would know as Neil Hamburger, the comedian, who does a lot of stuff on IPCAC Records, Mike Patton's record label. He was also Ant-Man's manager at Baskin Robbins in the Ant-Man movies. So if you've ever seen the Ant-Man movies and you know who Ant-Man's boss is at Baskin Robbins, that's Greg Turkington. That's the vocalist for this project. This Vaxxed Head, My Pfizer Nurse, and this is what they actually look like. Like I guess Trey is this guy here. He's Mr. Neckhead or something. This whole band is just a mystery to me, and I I really don't know a lot about them, but I'm stoked to have this thing. 60 of these exist, and I own one. So Fairweather fan, not at all where a lot of other people probably are, and they're probably going to be cussing me at the end of this episode saying, "Fuck you, I want that," thing that was limited to 60 pieces. But there you go.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
When I
pretty
was
cool.
when I was doing the research and collecting, because I was like, I've never heard of this band. So when I clicked on it, it referred to Ted. So I was like, So I was like, maybe Jeff will know the story. I don't want to look too deep into this. I'd rather him explain it on the show. So cool stuff. No, that was interesting. That was really good shit because like this is going to be a fun episode. I think there's stuff in my list too that I can explain some funny stories about or like. But yeah, what up?
All right. I'm sorry. All right. So for Nick, the copy or the album that I picked first off that I wanted to learn more about is by a band called Nightbirds. And
Mm-hmm.
the album is Born to Die in Suburbia. Never heard of this band. Tell me about this band.
All right. This is fun. Real quick before we get started, as you can see, I got the captain Alex Ovechkin with us today. As of today, we're recording this episode on Sunday, April 6th. My man Alex Ovechkin has broken the NHL goal scoring record, 895 goals. That's a huge accomplishment. I'm very stoked. Today was a huge day for me and all my Washington Caps friends and fans. So just going to go there. All right,
No,
back
no,
on.
hold on, real quick. Let's hear for Ovechkin. Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
That's cool. I'm not a
he's
hockey fan, but I know Nick is a big fan, and that's
I mean, if you watch the sport of hockey, you'll know how ridiculously hard it is to score a goal, and to do it 895 times in the span of I think 17 seasons or so. It's ridiculous. So like, hats off to this guy. He's been here for longer than 17. He's been here for a long time, but
yeah.
yeah, it's a big deal. All right. Uh,
There you go.
Thank you. All right. Nightbirds. So, I don't remember what it was. Let's see, 2013. So it might have been in 2013. Me and my buddy John, shout out to John Haberman, we went to go see Municipal Waste one night at Baltimore Soundstage. And the opening band was this band called Nightbirds from New Jersey. And man, they were fucking great. They were a punk band. I don't want to call them pop punk, but they weren't like like your basic punk, like like crusty looking dudes. But they were great. I listened to a lot of Cypress Hill that night with the guys from Municipal Waste, so I didn't remember much. But at the end of the night, when I got back in my buddy John's car, he had bought this CD and put it on, and I just like, yo, this band is so fucking good. To the point that every time they came back around to Baltimore or DC, me and John would go see them because like they were great. They were really nice to us. So, Born to Die in Suburbia. What a fucking record. I have this cool limited edition. I guess when you pre-ordered it, it came with this alternate cover. I'll pull it apart. It is number 31 of 420. Um, so let me get it all out here. That's the slip cover. Uh, this is what the actual cover looks like. This is what these dudes look like. Came with a sticker and a poster of the alternate cover there. But let me just read off some of these songs. First off, the opening track on this record is called Escape from New York. And by Escape from New York, I mean the John Carpenter song. Yes, they cover this song. It sounds fucking incredible. If I could describe it, I feel like they have kind of like surf rock guitar-ish tone, if that
Mhm.
makes sense. There's a lot of that like the whammy bar getting used. But it's just all in all great fun stuff. Born to Die in Suburbia, Modern Morons, Domestic Dispute, No Spoilers, Ads in My Eye, Nazi Gold, Silver Alert, Pretty Poison, Villa Obscura, Maimed for the Masses, which is a song about WWE legendary wrestler Mick Foley. Some people know him as Mankind, some people know him as Cactus Jack or Dude Love, but uh, this song is about him and how this guy has like put his body through absolute hell just for the just to be a star in wrestling. But New Colts, less the merrier, and Golden Opportunity. This is a really fun fucking record. I'm surprised I haven't talked about them yet on the show. I have almost all of their albums. They've done some fun releases. They're the last. They broke up a couple years ago. I do know the last album that they put out. They put out like a box set of 7 inches of the entire record, but I was too slow to order it. This came out on Grave Mistake Records. At some point, they signed to Fat Records, which is run by the guys from No Effects. I like this band a lot. I've seen them a bunch of times. One time, one of the last times I saw them was in DC, and I was wearing my Cactus Jack shirt. And when right before they played "Main for the Masses," the singer dedicated it to me and even gave me the mic and let me sing it a couple times during the course. But Nightbirds is a fun fucking band. I strongly recommend. There's their songs they're punk, so they're real quick, short songs. Like all these songs I had listed, like Modern Morons, Domestic Dispute, No Spoilers, Ads in My Eyes. Those are like they kind of like go real quick. It's almost grindcore, like quick how fast these songs kind of go, or how short these songs are. But they're a fun band. I strongly recommend this one. This is a good one to start with. I know they had an album before this. I have a couple of their albums a couple of the releases that come with the special covers and numbered on the back. I somehow was able to obtain them, find them in local record stores and whatnot. But this one, Born to Die in Suburbia. This is the one I prefer over. I would tell people to start with. It's a really really catchy record.
Right
So
on, right on. Well, I'm glad I picked
yeah,
a good one
yeah.
then. 'Cause,
I am too. I'm really happy you picked because like I've been meaning to talk about that band for a while in our show, and I guess I've never come across the topic for me to do that with. But
mhm.
yeah, I love that band. They're really cool. Um, okay. The next one that I picked for my co-host here is by a band called The Gorge, Mechanical Fiction.
Mhm. Yes, the Gorge are a local band out of St. Louis, Missouri. I've done a lot of work with the Gorge over the years. I filmed
Mm,
them quite a few times with Grindsphere Productions. Uh, they are first off good friends. I just saw them. Every band member I saw the other night in St. Louis whenever Meshuggah, Cannibal Corpse, and Carcass were in town. Uh, Phil, Phil and I, the vocalist for the Gorge, we've had a few conversations about Meshuggah, about what our favorite album is, about how it alternates. One week it'll be Obscene, next week it'll be Chaos Sphere or whatever. Is like it's hard to pick a favorite Meshuggah album. And whenever the guys posted on Facebook, they were like, "We're going to church. We're going to go see the greatest band in the world, Meshuggah. They're very very proggy." I'm sorry, the Gorge are very proggy, but they have a lot of Meshuggah worship to them.
mm,
Uh, they're an awesome band. Their debut album, Mechanical Fiction, was released on. I'm probably going to mispronounce this. Pelagic, Pelagic Records, and this record label is based out of Berlin, Germany. How they got picked up by a record label in Berlin, Germany, I have no idea. Um, Buying a record from and having a record shipped from Germany was a different thing a few years ago. I don't know if it would happen now, but very stoked. Either way, very, very, very excited for these friends of mine from St. Louis, Missouri, to get picked up by a record label and get national distribution. They're opening a few festivals here and there overseas. Like they've got, and I forget which one it is because I'm not going, so I didn't really pay that much attention to what it is. But they got announced on a huge festival overseas. One thing about the Gorge that a lot of people don't know is that Nick Jost from
uh-huh.
Baroness,
Yeah.
this was his original band.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
No
this is
shit.
yeah. Nick Jost from Baroness got his start in the Gorge. So
That's crazy.
So, and it was a couple of months ago. There was a local show in St. Louis where one of my favorite St. Louis bands, Sine Nomine, reunited for their first show in like 10 years or whatever it's been. And Nick was at the show. He was there with the other members of the Gorge, and he's from St. Louis, so like he was there at the show, whatever. But yeah, another little thing to learn about the Gorge is that's where the basis for Baroness got his start.
Wow. Yeah, the that's incredible. Oh, here we go. There we go. The drummer of Baroness is from he's got a local band from actually a couple towns over from where I live. So that's neat. That
Mhm.
small fucking world.
Small world.
No, absolutely.
While I'm thinking about it, just real quick, and this is going to stay in the episode, I kept this cup for a reason because on the way home, I kept saying Sonic, Sonic. I saw Nick on Vital Bag. Saw Nick on. It's been a long day. I was really entertained by Sonic. I saw Nick.
The closest Sonic to my house is like 45 minutes away. It sucks. And I
So
like
good.
it. I go there. I go there whenever I go to this record store up in Frederick. I go to it. Just Sonic.
Treat yourself to Sonic. So good.
I wish they had rewards on their app. That's
I know.
ridiculous.
I know.
It's. I'm like, what am I paying all this fucking extra money for? Just so I can get my food made on time? Anyways, why are we talking about Sonic? Moving on.
Anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
Okay, so so my next pick for Nick from Sonic is a band called American Heritage. The
Uh-huh.
album is called Cemetery.
Yes. So this is a weird one. My late friend Ian Fisher discovered this band, and was it Ian? Might have been Ray. Ian or Ray told me about this. I'm pretty sure it was Ian because Ian was just listening to anything stoner rock that sounded anything remotely close to Mastodon. But he I guess I downloaded this album first, and this is what what the album cover looks like CD and digitally and all that.
Mhm.
And then I listened to it like over and over, and I'm like, man, this is really fucking catchy. It's really good. So I was like, I have to get this on vinyl. So I found it on vinyl, and the crazy part is it has two different covers on vinyl. Um, I'll share this first one. They're both based out of the forest. So there's that one, and let's see which color this one is. Oh, this is the crystal clear pressing. Um, whoop, I don't like that at all. Sorry.
The
Um,
turmoil's morning vinyl.
and then the other version, same album, Sedentary, Beast Out of the Woods. This one's a little rare looking too.
Mhm.
Okay, so this band, they sound a lot like Mastodon, and in 2003 they did a split with Mastodon. This album came out. This is their fifth album, actually. It came out in the year 2011. This is the other version that I have, half black, half yellow. That's kind of cool looking.
Mhm.
Um, they have kind of like a very it's a stoner rock sludgy. Not really. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm gonna read off some of these song titles for you in a second here because this is kind of what captured my attention with this band was these songs. City of God, Sickening Rebellion, Chaotic Obliteration, Vessels, Vassals, Fetal Attraction. Second side, Tomb Cruise, like Tom Cruise, Slave by Force, Kiddie Pool of Baby Blood, Abduction Cruiser. This one's great. Morbid Angle,
Hmm.
uh, and WWDHD. I don't know I don't know what DH stands for, but what would DH
What
do?
would Dale or no? That'd be DE. I don't know.
Um, Bill Keller appears courtesy of Relapse. He plays guitar on one of these songs. I don't know which one, but they put out this album, and then they put out another album after this, and it was not as good as this one. And then I think they broke up. But I remember posting a picture of both of my records that I had online, and one of them had responded and said, "None of us have either of those pressings." So I was like, "That sucks." Fans out there have more pressings, but this record, Sedentary, is really catchy. It's a really neat record. You might enjoy it. You might not. I think Jeff, if this was like the early 2000s, like 2013, you probably enjoy this record a lot. It's not bad, but they were a band that flew under a lot of people's radar. I think most Mastodon fans knew who they were because of the split. But yeah, American Heritage, they were a pretty chill band. I like that one record a lot. That's a good pick. I'm glad you picked that one, not the other one, because the other one I didn't like so much. And the crazy sad part is actually I've looked it up because I've thought about selling those records. And when I go and look them up on Discogs, they sell for cheap. Like
Hmm.
this band, I don't know if something happened. This band got canceled or what, but I'm like, damn, what's going on here? But I
Even
hope
like
not. I hope
even like the split with Mastodon, and I didn't even know about the
not
split.
that.
Like,
I've never looked at that. It's like a picture disc. That one with like emerald, the emerald cover I think is on one side, and then whatever song they do. I think I'm pretty sure I have that wrong, but
hmm.
I think it's like a picture disc split they did with Mastodon.
Doesn't ring a bell, but either way, man, that's cool. Yeah. So
Yeah, check.
so if I were to check them out, check out that album, not the album after.
Yes, I think this was a very fun fucking record. There's just like weird, like one of the songs, it ends him going, "Eat my fuck" or something weird like that. They're just, I don't know. It's a fun
Very
record,
cool.
I thought. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, I
So
guess
which
it's
one?
my turn. That's right.
We're here
All
all
right.
night, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, yes. I was like waiting. I was like, what's going on here? Oh yeah. All right.
Yeah.
This next one is a band. Like I said, I try to pick stuff for Jeff that I don't know about. I've never heard of before. But this next one that I'm going to pick, it's crazy. A lot of people around the time that this band was active, a lot of people, and I know Jeff. The story is the way me and Jeff met were on the Lamb of God message board, and I believe the first couple interactions I had with the guitarist of this band was on the Lamb of God message board. I didn't even seen him on the Super Joint Ritual message board and the Pantera message board. A lot of people used to come on that message board, the Lamb of God. All the members were on there at one point. Hank Williams, a third. But I'm talking about a band called Psyopus. Chris wasn't really there to talk about Lamb of God, although he was a fan. He was mostly good to these message boards and try to promote Psyopus because he was very DIY about that band. Even though he was able to get them signed to Metal Blade, he he did everything he could possibly in his power to promote the shit out of his band. And he would come on the Lamb of God message board a lot. At some point, I became great friends with this band. I remember at one point the original singer, left, and they got almost all entirely brand new lineup. I guess Chris was the only guy there that stayed. But when the band revamped, they put out an album called Odd Senses, and I remember getting it. It wasn't that big of a fan, unfortunately, because it didn't have Adam on it and all these other guys that I was so used to hearing over the years. But a couple years ago, Silent Pendulum started repressing the second and the third Psyopus album, and I see that Jeff, you have Odd Senses, so let's talk about it.
No, first off, thank you for taking care of 50% of what I was going to say because I don't know Psyopus. I don't know the guys. Adam, you introduced me through the show because he's a fan of the show. So
Hmm.
we become friends on Facebook, vicariously through you. Um,
Cool.
was never friends with Psyopus, never knew Chris Arp, never knew, still don't to this day. Never saw Psyopus live, never nothing. And it sucks. It sucks. I discovered Psyopus with our Puzzling Encounters Considered. Loved it. Still
Yeah.
love it. Still love it to
Well,
this day. Great fucking record. Great album. But because of my infatuation with that album, whenever they put out the one after that, Odd Senses, I'm like, fuck yes, I'm going to buy this, and I have to have it. So, as Nick said, Silent Pendulum released Odd Senses from Psyopus. A couple of majority of this album is, I mean, it's good. Can't compare it to our Puzzling Encounters Considered. You just can't. It's not the same. But a couple of the songs on here that really, really stuck with me is like Choker Chain. It's just so different. It's crazy. It's almost like borderline annoying, but it's good. It is so good. And just because of the fact that it was being released on vinyl, I had to have it. I mean, I liked the album enough to where I would buy it on vinyl, and I've listened to it. I've listened to it numerous times on Spotify, even before this pressing was released. Um, but yeah, I dig Odd Senses. The pressing is really cool too. Like it's almost like a spiral
oh
kind
yes, I
of.
wanted to see this. Yes, because I
Yeah.
saw the mock picture. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
And it's a dual disc. I'm almost positive the other one is
yeah, it is. It
the
is.
same thing. So I'm not going to dig both of them out. But yeah, Nick said the majority of what I didn't know. So I'm just glad that we got all that out of the way. That my co-host took care of majority of what I did not know what to say. But yeah, Odd Senses, dude. It's a good album. It doesn't get as much attention as our Puzzling Encounters Considered, but a great album. I'm glad I own it on vinyl. Uh,
Yeah.
the difference in the two, and I'm sure the majority of the people also feel the same way about the comparison between the two albums. Whenever our Puzzling Encounters went up for pre-order, it was gone in like 30 seconds. and there was no way to go back and get another copy or whatever. It was just like you got what you got. Odd Senses, it was like weeks later you were able to go back and still get more copies. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
just it did not go over as well as our Opposing Encounters, but still a great album. I dig it.
Yeah. I wish they would
Duct
do
Smiles,
this.
another good track too.
They need to put Ideas of Reference out because that was the first one, and that one was so fucking good.
Correct. Yes, that would be badass. That would be awesome. But yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Good
All right.
stuff. Love the Psyopus guys.
Yes. All right. So the next one, and just real quick,
Mm.
the counter behind you, does that have 895 on it?
It is. I made my little video. I've done countdowns ever for the last couple hundred goals. So
Yeah.
and on my Instagram stories, every time he scores a goal, I'll move it. But it is at 895. And then this one is just a bobblehead of like he. So in his rookie season, he scored this like insanely like defied the law of physics. This goal, and he was on his back, and he had this stick, and he shot it, and it went in from his back without looking at the net. And
Hmm.
if you ever just Google Ovechkin the goal or look it up on YouTube, and you'll see it, how insane it was. And at the time, Wayne Gretzky was the coach of the team that they were playing, the Coyotes. So he was there in attendance for it. It was pretty ridiculous.
I'm so excited for you, Nick. I want to keep bringing it up because I know you're excited. It's a big deal. I'm
Well,
excited.
when the season started, a lot of people said that uh, if he's just going to focus on the goal, on the getting that record this season, the team's going to suck. And we're actually the best team in the league this year. But
Right.
we're actually maybe second. I think the Winnipeg Jets are 1 point ahead of us, but we don't want that President's Trophy. We just want to go to the playoffs and win. So,
Right. Right.
but yeah.
All right.
Anyhow,
Anyway, moving on. This isn't hockey bang. This is Vital Bang.
we can make it
Okay.
hockey going.
I know. I know. I brought it up. That's just anyway. Anyway, the third album that I would like to hear my co-host tell me about, because I do not know this band, is a band called Niku Daruma.
Yep, you
Is that
got it.
right? The album
Yeah,
is called Twin Sisters, and the sisters is like there. It's there's apostrophe after sisters, so it's like
yep,
my twin sisters' stomach full of blood.
yes. Twin sisters, stomach full of blood. Exactly. Good way to read the. Anyways, yeah, like you said, they see. Um, this is a noise project. Two women. I think they're from Pittsburgh, maybe. I don't remember where they're from. I discovered them because there's a record label called Damien Records. This is the cover, by the way. It's pretty fucked up. I think these girls are into like kinky shit like this. Like one of the records that I have of theirs, it's like a girl being like tied up and like it's just like a close up of her with like a rope around her neck and like one of the strings is like poking into her skin hard. So like, I don't know, these girls, they kind of like beat the shit out of each other on stage, but yeah, that's some wild ass shit. This is a cassette. Um, it's a noise project, is what it is. It's these two girls. They like kind of scream into their mic and do their thing and kind of wrestle each other on the ground while they perform. There's a better look of it without the glare on. It's like some woman's like back all like sliced up. There's like box cutter, so I think that's what happened there.
Wow.
But red cassette tape. Yeah, I know that's harsh. That's some harsh shit. When I saw that Jeff picked this, I was a little confused because like, why did you pick? I have a 7 inch by them that. So basically, Damien Records, they put out Internal. They put out stuff by that band Internal, and then they put out something by Nico Durama and Nick. And I looked into it because I was just like, he put out something that I like, so I'm gonna check out his other stuff. And I checked out the 7 inch that I bought from him, and I was like, wow, that's good. What else do they have? And then I found this one, the Twin Sisters' Stomach Full of Blood. I remember sending it to Blake and to see what he thought. His only response was, "It doesn't suck." Um, rest in peace, Blake. Um, but
Yes.
this was just some random project that I bought. I was, I really, they're not anything like super special to me, but like I just there was I saw that and then I saw this and I was like, oh, this cover's intriguing. I have not put this cassette on, but I have listened to it on Where did I find it? It wasn't. It's not on Spotify. I can tell you that. I don't know if it was Bandcamp or not, but I was able to listen to this somehow. Like I said, it's noise. It's two sides. I think it's. I don't know what the songs are on here, but yeah, this is some fucked up shit. I know. I contemplated. I was like, should I show this? Because I don't want people to be like, yeah, what the fuck? But we've shown some brutal stuff on our show in the past, I believe. So.
We have, but I mean, we've always like borderline on the NC-17, and I think we crossed that line tonight. I think I prompted us a, oh.
Yeah, it is
Anyway.
what it is. I'm not like, I just, I don't know. I'm not big into like the gore album covers, like the ones with the decapitated heads or like the intestines laying out everywhere, or like
Sure.
people's like bodies like soaking in like bathtubs and then you just see their bones and remains. I'm not into all that shit. I'm not. I don't.
Yeah.
But that
I can
that
tell
that
you later. As far as why I picked that one, it was the name of the album. That was
okay.
why I picked that one, was because I was just like, what? What is this? So,
Yeah. I almost broke out the 7-inch, but I was like, I'm not gonna. We'll talk about the cassette because that was the particular one that you chose. But
yeah.
yeah, they're just a noise project that I was curious about and listened to, and yeah. Anywho,
Awesome.
next thing I'm probably gonna butcher this. Next one I picked again. I was going for stuff that I've never heard of before. That I wanted to move Jeff out of his comfort zone and talk about stuff that he has never talked about on the show. Maybe he has, but Sept Messenger from the Darkness.
That's the way that I've always pronounced it, or seat star sept, I think. I
Okay.
don't know.
Okay.
Seat set, whatever it is. Okay, so this album, it was purchased along with another one. I cannot remember where I got this from. I almost want to say I bought this from Doug Brown. I almost 99% sure that I bought this from Doug, but I don't remember. I bought it from his Death by Digital outlet. This album, I've heard the name tossed around a lot, especially in the grind community, and it was just intriguing. I think it was just a reasonably priced album. I'm not a huge fan of this band. I've listened to this album maybe a handful of times. They are Set Star Sept, whatever they are, is a two-piece Japanese gore grind band,
Oh,
and they're
nice.
good. They're good. It's just not my normal, like, what I usually like, you know thrive after, crave, to listen to. It's good. It's not, if I didn't like it, I'd gave it away or whatever. But it's just not my choice of what to listen to. But I do listen to it. Some of the songs they have titles of like Wrist Chopped, Resentment of You, Not to Be Released from Suffering, Contract with the Devil, Pain That Will Last for Years. Very, very dark. Not as dark as the cutting, noise thing. But yeah, still a two piece. But
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm not real well versed in this band, but I was asked to talk about it, so there it is. Yeah, and the album is Messenger from the Darkness. Did you say that?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, you probably did. I don't remember.
Messenger from the Darkness with all these dark album titles, song titles.
We need
Cool
a hug.
stuff.
Everybody needs a hug. But yeah. Okay. So moving on, because we're not going to make this awkward. The next album that I picked for, I'm not even doing the Sonic thing anymore. That's silly. The next album is by a band called River Black, and the album is of the same name. And I'm excited to hear about this.
Okay. You never heard of River Black before?
I have. I just want to hear more about it because I know who's
Okay.
involved in it.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. This is something cool. River Black is a band. Basically, River Black is Burnt by the Sun minus the bass player Teddy. So it features our good friend Dave Whitty on drums, and on bass, instead of this guy Teddy, is the gentleman Teddy who played in Birth by the Sun. It is Brett from Revocation. River Black, self-titled. Real quick before I go any deeper into this, shout out to her name is Ellie, the woman who drew this artwork. She just gave birth to twins. She is married to my buddy Jonah, who played in a band called Ramming Speed. Now he's in Loud Night. They just had twins. So congratulations to her. She drew this artwork. She is a phenomenal artist. I believe she's also a tattoo artist. But yes, River Black. I bought this record. This came out in 2017 on Seasons of Mist. This was limited to 100 copies on blue. I also bought a red one, but I believe I traded that with somebody because they did not own a copy of this. This band is just as good as Birth by the Sun. It's fucking awesome. It's hard. And when I say hard, it's like hard fucking music. It's good stuff. Oh, it looks like this is a gatefold. Oh yeah, it is. Here we go. Boom. There they are. There's Dave. There's Brett all the way over there. I call him Bart. But yeah, those are the Burnt by the Sun guys. This is a really cool record. I remember seeing them years before they were called River Black. They had some other name. I saw them at the Autobar. They had a different vocalist. And years before that show, they played a show. They played one of the Barbecues, and they had Dimitri of Dillinger Escape Plan on vocals for like their very first show ever. I can't remember. I really can't remember what the original name of this band was. They changed it a couple times, but this is what it turned into: River Black, ex-Burnt by the Sun members, featuring a member of Revocation. This is a really cool record. It's very underrated. It didn't get very much love at all when it came out. I was very happy to buy a couple copies, because I love to support Dave Whitty any way I can. He's one of the finest human beings and musicians of our time, and he's been a great guy to me and a great friend of the show. And yeah, River Black. Check this band out if you haven't. If you're a fan of Burnt by the Sun, I would assume you would like this.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's a rad project. Like I said, I'm familiar with it, but I'm not well versed in it. And I know that I knew that you'd seen them. Like you'd have a story about seeing them and with different vocalists or whatever. And that's what I wanted to hear was, like their lineage. And are they doing anything still? Do you know?
They
Are they still?
haven't. I don't think so. I think Municipal Waste and Revocation consume most, because the other two members, they have like families and all that. So like
Sure.
it's really difficult for them to like have to put stop to what they're doing and do this. So yeah, but it's a cool project. I just, like I said, I'll support anything Dave does. Yeah,
Absolutely. Shout out Dave Woody.
shout out Dave Whitty. All right, this next thing that I had picked for Jeff. So as I'm scrolling through his stuff, I saw this cover and I'm like, what is this? It's like some like European version of Check Your Head that I've never seen before. And I had to click
Right.
on it and look closer. I'm like, what? What the fuck am I looking at? I believe this band is from Sweden. They're called Livet Sum and Not Insats, and the album title is called Check Your Grind.
Check Your Grind. And just like Nick, I didn't go through anybody's discog. I don't remember how I came across this album. I don't remember if it was in a grind group on Facebook, or if I was over at my parents' house and my mom suggested it to me, or what happened, how this band came into my radar. But once I saw this album cover, like, dude, what is this? I have to hear this. I mean, even the Check Your Grind is written just like, just like Check Your Head. I mean, it looks like a version of, Beastie Boys album. So I bought it immediately without even listening to it. As Nick said, they are a grind band from Sweden. Livet Som and Sats, Check Your Grind, an awesome find. Because, like I said, I wasn't introduced to them. I wasn't, shown or told anything about these guys beforehand. I just thought, yeah, it's a cool looking album cover. I'd got money to throw away on records from grind from Sweden. And I mean, plus, like, bands from Sweden are generally fucking good, dude. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, I mean, you can't really go wrong with a grind band from Sweden that mimics, I mean, almost to the T. I mean, look at them.
Yeah. They
Expressions
all
and
are.
everything is just like it's a true homage to Check Your Head. So I was like, yeah, I have to have this. I don't care what it is. Yeah. Let's go side by side.
Yeah, don't put yours away. Let's look at this because like I even noticed the back too. So like that's the original, and then look at the back. It's even got the collage, and
Yeah,
that's fucking killer, man. I love that
dude,
so much.
yeah, it's fun. So there you go.
Yeah, no,
There you go.
like I said, it captured my eye, and I had no idea what I was looking at, and at first I thought Jeff has some like European bootleg of or European import is what I thought it was. Like there are like special releases out there. Like somebody just posted like a UK version with like completely different cover, back and center label, and I was like, man. So that's immediately what I thought it was. I was like,
Mhm,
what? Oh, I
mhm.
was like, all right, this will be a fun one. This will absolutely be a fun one because like I think
Yeah.
that's cool, and I'm probably going to try to track that down at some point if I can.
Whenever I got your list last night, and whenever I saw that, I was like, I know why he picked that. I know exactly why he picked that album. So,
Of course, of course.
yep, yep,
It was definitely something I never heard of, but it was certainly it captured my eye because like I'm just like what the fuck?
right, right.
You
They're
can hide
fun.
this from me, Jeff? Yeah,
All right, moving on. Moving on. The next album or the next band is a band called Under Attack, and the album is called Through the Blade.
yeah. This is a little ironic. I don't know if you did this on purpose or not, but this is back to back Dave Whitty projects. This was something he had
Oh,
posted a while ago on his Instagram, and that he was hey, I got this. This is actually I have two 7 inches by them. They put out this one was on Iron Lung. Look at that. It's got a little cut on the top here. Let me you see that?
I do see it. What's what?
It's like the little Iron Lung thing down here.
Oh,
It's like cut
I
at the
see it
top.
now. Okay,
It's fucking incredible.
that is cool. Okay.
This was this was pressed on a red 7 inch. Under Attack. It's a punk hardcore band project that Dave did. Like I said, they put out two 7 inches. The second one, I don't remember who put it out. I'm trying to think. But yeah, I this was another thing that I bought strictly just to support Dave Whitty because he anything he puts out, I have to imagine is awesome, and usually it is. And
Mhm.
yeah, like I not to blow smoke up Dave's ass, but everybody who knows if you've seen this man play drums, like he's just an incredible drummer. And I wanted to give this project a listen. It's not bad. It's like I said, it's like punk hardcore, so I don't know like if so many people would be into it, but I certainly dug it. I think Dave is like I said, he doesn't. I don't think he would do anything that sucks. So
Right.
uh, Under Attack, yeah. The other one, it's got like a cool like drawing of them on the cover. It kind of reminds me of that Pig Destroyer beer that came out with that had a drawing. Whoops, that had a drawing of them on the cover, and they technical difficulties, but it didn't look anything like them. But this that I don't know if it was the same artist that drew it, but yeah,
Yeah.
Under Attack. I believe they're from Richmond. All of these guys. So yeah,
I did not know that's a Dave Whitty project. That was not intentional. So
I was
that's
like, hold
cool.
on. I wonder if he knows that he picked two Dave Whitty projects in a row because that
No,
was
I didn't. That Dave, you
yeah.
got to keep your eye on him. You never know what he's going to do. He's
Yeah,
everywhere.
no. So I remember Phil gave me like a burnt CD once, and the name of the project was Smear Campaign or something like that. It was him, Dave, and somebody else. And I told Dave about that, and he was like, "Man, I think you might be the only person who has that." I was like, "Really?" And I wish I still had it. I don't know where it is. It was like, but a lot of I think Dave had done a lot of stuff with Phil and probably with Ryan, but maybe I don't know, but like just the dude stays busy, man. Good for him. Like can't hate on
Mhm.
that. Like people who have that much stuff on their resume, that's just shows how accomplished of a musician that this guy is. And
Sure, sure.
anything he puts out, if he advertises it on his Instagram, I obviously I put my hard earned money into it because I like Dave. So yeah,
I do too. Good guy.
awesome guy. All right. Next thing, I don't remember if I talked about this band last episode or not. I know I picked some weird stuff, but the Residents BS. Did I pick Residents last time?
Yeah, I think you
I
did
did.
on the last
That was
Discogs.
this is the band that Les Claypool talks about.
Yeah, Claypool referenced him in
Okay.
on Sailing the Seas. They did a Residence cover on Puzzle Fry, Constantinople, Hello Skinny. There was a time like a couple of years back whenever I would go to a record store and I couldn't find anything, and I said this last time, I know I did. Whenever I would go to a record store and if I couldn't find anything in particular, like if nothing caught my eye, I would either grab an album by Frank Zappa or The Residents, just because of Frank Zappa. I mean, fucking, you can buy almost anything and it's going to be awesome. But The Residents was always because of Claypool's affiliation and the references that I got from listening to Primus throughout, the last 30 years. I've always been intrigued about listening to The Residents. And again, I never had anybody to say, here, listen to this album, listen to this Residents album. It's just kind of very weird. You never know what you're going to get. But that's what this was. I couldn't find anything else to buy, and so I bought a Residents album. And this is the Residents present BS, which I'm sure stands for bicycle scooters. It's not offensive. This says that this is the infamous unreleased 1971 sequel to the censored album. It doesn't even say, it says W asterisk 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 B asterisk asterisk. I don't know what this is, but it's a sequel to an album recently discovered in the pre-Residence archive, remastered and released for the very first time. I really don't know a lot about to talk about it. Maybe Dave Whitty's the drummer. Who knows? Maybe we'll find out. If Dave watches this episode, he'll say, "Hey, I am in the Residence. Don't tell anybody." But yeah, so no graphics, no cool cover art, no nothing. It's just a black cover, just it's like nothing. So I got no insight. Let's just move on. Because I just picked a Residence album and bought it and came home with it. And Melanie likes that whenever I just go to record stores just to throw money at records I don't know what they are. So turned out well.
Yeah, I thought about that. I was like, didn't I pick this band last time? But
You did.
I just something I'm unfamiliar with. I don't think I even checked them out. I think last time it was because it was like a soundtrack.
Yeah, it was a soundtrack. Yeah.
So I was like, what movie did these guys make? But
I've got like 7 or 8 other albums, and it's like I don't know, have a favorite over one or the other, but whatever.
so good.
All right. So my next album is by a band called Sightless Pit.
Yes.
And the name of the album is Grave of a Dog.
Dark shit. All right. You familiar with this at all?
No.
This artwork is a little, I don't know.
Hard to see.
Yeah, very. That's their logo on the top, but it's like, I don't know, somebody under a veil or something. This is a project consisting of Dylan Walker, better of the band Full of Hell, Christian. I'm sorry, I have to read this here. Christian Hayter of Laguna Ignata, and Lee Buford of The Body. If I remember correctly, I don't want to call this noise, but it was a little like, maybe it was noise. I've only listened to this a couple times. It was a spontaneous buy. Dylan was promoting. All the guys from Full of Hell have like side projects or whatnot.
Sure.
And it was something that Dylan had posted about one day, and I was like, I like this guy a lot. Let me support his stuff. This was a Thrill Jockey exclusive, pink vinyl. Believe it or not, yes, this is pink. There looks like there's some black smoke in it up here, a little around here. Yeah, I think I only listened to this maybe like once or twice. If I remember correctly, it was kind of like noisy, no, not noisy, just noise. That genre. But yeah, King's Corpse, Emerus and Disparal, Ocean of Mercy, Violent Rain, Drunk on Marrow, Miles of Chain, Whom the devil long sought to strangle. Love is dead. All love is dead. Yeah. The title of this record is a little weird to me. Tomb of a what is it? Yeah, the grave of a dog. That saddens me. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but I bought this just like I said to support Dylan. Dylan's always been very nice to me. I hope we can get him on our show sometime, actually, because he's a phenomenal vocalist, and I know that he has somewhat of a record collection. I told him I'm not going to have you on here talking about Full of Hell. You can talk about whatever you want. Like you have jazz records, talk about them. But he's a very interesting guy. He's always been very nice to me and Blake over the years. The first show I saw when we came back from COVID, I drove out to the beach, Ocean City, Maryland, where Full of Hell is from, and saw them there, and it was great. But Sightless Pit is the name of the band. Grave of a Dog. I think they put out another EP or something after this, but that one wasn't enough for me to like want to buy a second.
Sure.
So
Sure.
I give everything a try once.
Oh yeah, yeah. Especially, I mean, Dylan's a great guy. I'm going to see him a couple of times next month, and I'm going to corner him and say, "Hey, do our show, Dylan."
Yeah. Give him for those of you who haven't seen these, give him one of these stickers so you can QR code it and see what's up.
I'm going to give him
Stickers
a
made.
hard time is what I'm going to give him.
But yeah. All right, last one. The original thing I asked for was Jesse Draxler, but Jeff apparently had sold it and just didn't remove it from his Discogs, which is fair. I've done that a couple times actually. When I was looking through my stuff, I saw an album that I had traded with a friend. Shout out to Jay Dixon. I traded my Off Live from the 930 Club album, so I had to remove that from my collection because I don't own that anymore. But we ended up before we started this episode, I was digging through Jeff's collection again, and again, I'm aiming for stuff that I've never heard of before that Jeff has maybe never talked about on the show before. But this band was called Free Salamander Exhibit. What a fucking name. That sounds like something I would have thought of when I was like 4 years old. Oh, shit.
Oh shit is right, kids, ladies and gentlemen. Here's Jeff. No, here's Nick. So, Free Salamander Exhibit. This project, from what I gather, and I'm sure I'm wrong all the time on this show. For people who watch this show, stop sending me hate mail telling me I'm wrong. I know. As soon as I hang up the episode, as soon as I turn off the camera, Melanie tells me when I'm wrong. I know. Okay. So, Free Salamander Exhibit. This album was released whenever the majority of the band was in Sleepy Time Gorilla Museum. Sleepy Time Gorilla Museum called it quits in 2013 or 14, I think. And Free Salamander Exhibit, this album is called Undestroyed, was released in 2016. And this band consists of, I want to say, 70%, 75% of Sleepy Time Gorilla Museum. I believe the only person that's missing is Carla. Don't think that's right. Carla, the violinist, I think. I don't know. This was picked out 10 minutes before we hit record. I'm under a lot of pressure. Worked all weekend and I've worked 12 hours today. I've been up since 3:30 this morning. I'm tired. I can't think exactly what is going on with Free Salamander Exhibit. Awesome album, regardless. Awesome fucking album.
What
Awesome.
do they sound like?
They sound like Sleepy Time Gorilla Museum. It's hard to describe them. It's hard to describe this band. They're awesome. If you know Sleepy Time Gorilla Museum, you would love Free Salamander. This was released on the via Web of Mimicry, which is Trey Spruance from Mr. Bungle and Secret Chiefs 3 and almost everything awesome, his record label. So yeah.
Yeah.
Free Salamander exhibit and the awesome artwork. Awesome band. I can't remember. Here, let me see real quick. At least if nothing else, I can tell you if this is a colored vinyl, and it is not standard black. I got nothing. I'm done.
The anticipation. Oh boy.
Yeah, I'm going to bed. It's been a long day.
Boy. Oh.
So yeah, no real insight. Awesome band. Worth checking out if you are a fan of Sleepytime Gorilla Museum and don't know Free Salamander exhibit. Do it. Do it.
Very unique name, much like Sleepytime Gorilla Museum.
Correct.
So cool.
Yeah. All right. So now that I'm done trying to look up the last band, and I do know something about this band. I want to hear more because I've tried to find albums and can't find albums from this band. It's a band called Ledge, and the album that I went with, or is it an EP? It's an EP. It's a 7-inch, right?
No,
it's a full length 12-inch. The name of the album, the name of the 12-inch vinyl is Cold Hard Concrete.
That is the title, indeed. Ledge. Boom, Cold Hard Concrete. This is a project featuring John Hoffman of Weekend Nachos, the vocalist of Weekend Nachos, and I have my notes here. Andy Nelson, who plays guitar in Weekend Nachos, he engineered and played guitar on this, and John, the singer, he also played drums on this. It is kind of like a sludgy, doomy project. It was like the first thing he put out after Weekend Nachos had ended, and John Hoffman has always been very nice to me over the years. The whole reason I have a complete Weekend Nachos collection really is because of that gentleman. And I much like Dave Whitty, much like who else here, Dylan, all these projects that a lot of these records that I've talked about on this episode are projects of friends from other bands that I wanted to support. I've never seen them live. I actually have a split that they did with somebody else in my collection, but I think maybe 2 or 3 releases that they put out, the 2 full lengths and whatnot. There are 150 pressed of this pressing, the
Nice.
Bloody Murky. Yeah, after back in like 2018, I saw John with he was playing drums for a band called not Spite. Damn it. I can't remember. Holy shit, I feel terrible. But it was like a hardcore band, and anything that he was doing at the time, I just like would pick up because I like John Hoffman. He's a nice dude, always very friendly to me. His lyrics in Weekend Nachos are just so hateful and angry, but I do not care. I was always a fan of that band, and anything he put out, I supported. Damn it, I'm trying to think of this hardcore band. I wanted to say Spite. It's not that. It might be Oh, anyways, when I pre-ordered this, it came with a T-shirt. Ledge. It's very like doomy, sludgy kind of like. That's really the most of it. Just like that heavy stuff. But yeah, I bought a couple of these couple releases that they put out. I think I have another one somewhere, but I know there was like a 12-inch split that they did with somebody, and I have a pressing of that on the shelf as well. But yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah. I knew John's involvement and I just wanted to hear more about it. You know?
Yeah. Translation Lost put it out. It came out in 2017. So this was, maybe a couple years after Notches. They'd ended it. Their final show was 2017, early 2017.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this was like the first thing that he had put out or any of them had put out. So I checked it out and was like, that's good stuff.
Hell yeah. All right. No pressure's off. That's done.
All righty. Okay. So, Jeff, you have new records you'd like to talk about.
New stuff. I got some new stuff. I'm going to go in reverse order. Last week, whenever I went to see Cannibal Corpse and Meshuggah and Carcass, my wife let me go to. Before the show, I drug my wife through the pouring down rain, and which made her mad, which made me mad because there was an umbrella and I didn't grab it because I'm a dummy. But I got to go to Vintage Vinyl and I got to buy a record, and I bought Biohazard Urban Discipline. Finally, I have this on vinyl. I'm so excited. I got several to go through, so I'm gonna rip through them pretty quick. A couple weeks back or a couple months back, whatever it was, my co-host here told me about this awesome pressing of They Live. I have not opened mine because I work every day and I have not had time to go through and enjoy the finer things in life because I fucking work all the time. But yeah, it's They Live from Mondo. For 3 days or a week or something, Mondo was having this deal where they had free shipping. This was $20.
Oh,
This
yeah.
next album I got, which is ironically another show about people that look like people but are not really people. Westworld Season 2. Okay, so two records or two different soundtracks for a movie and a series, which Westworld, for the most part, the first season was awesome, second season was awesome, third season was okay, and the fourth season was just like, why are you still doing this? This soundtrack has a couple of different versions of Heart Shaped Box, which is what mainly wanted or made me want to buy this because of the different renditions of Heart Shaped Box. There's a piano version, there's an orchestra version that's like in the show. Like every season has like the first season I think had Black Hole Sun, just different grunge, different '90s references throughout the show, different versions of different songs. But
I
the
noticed
version of
that.
Heart Shaped Box I had to have. So season 2, Westworld. Moving on. The last episode, some of you may have noticed I was wearing a Lady Gaga shirt. I like Lady Gaga. I bought the new album because it's fucking awesome. I gave it a listen because I'm not really a big fan of her pop stuff. I like her with a piano. Amazing voice. Her auto-tuned with beats and shit, I could kind of go without. But this album actually rules. It's a really good album. Picked up the Target exclusive with an extra track. I don't know if you can see there, Kill for Love bonus track on the Target version. Had to have that. Saving that one for last. Up next is 3 albums from good friends of ours in Misery Index that were re-released by Relapse Records. Heirs to Thievery, which is my favorite Misery Index album ever. I've come to that conclusion. Discordia and Traitors. These are the 3 rarest versions, and I'll let Nick go through those because I'm sure he's going to have the same thing. Next to last is a band called Mr.phyzzz. I don't think I did this on the last one. I was trying to think I remember if I did this on the last episode or not. But anyway, Mr.phyzzz, Fat Chance. I saw this band open up for Melvin's last year, and after their set, I almost left because they were just so good. I was like, there's no way Melvin's could top this. They were so good. Finally, the Peak de Resistance in my collection, an OG 2016 pressing of the Fight Club score, the original motion picture score by the Dust Brothers. These things are hard to find. This is an original, as I said, original 2016 released once again by Mondo. I'm opening it for the first time. This has never been opened. I'm opening it on the show for the very first time because I want to see exactly how this plays out. There are 2 different ways to open this vinyl. There is a under this Obi strip, under this strip right here in the middle, there's a way to open this like a manila envelope, like how you would get an envelope from like FedEx or something, where it says right here. I don't know if you can see it, but it says sacrifice. So if you grab this and pull it, it rips the entire cover. This cover is meant to be destroyed. This thing is meant to be torn apart. I can't do it. I cannot. No, 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 no.
Say that.
I'm not done. There's 2 different ways to open it. Okay. There's two different ways to open, and this one is cooler. Just let me finish. There's a sacrifice where you rip it open and rip it in half. I can't bring myself to tear it up. But what I can do, and hopefully I can do this correctly, is if you open this thing like the other way that it was intended to be opened, is by tearing it right here. So much pressure to do this on camera. But if you open it the other way, like you would open an envelope, oh, and you can't see it, I ripped it too much. It says right here, it says, stop trying to control everything and just let go. But I ripped it, dude. I fucking tore it up. I did it wrong. But yeah, one of the scenes from Fight Club is where the narrator is talking to Tyler, and he says, stop trying to control everything and just let go. So that's what this is if you take the lesser of the two options to open this, stop trying to control everything and just let go. Just tear it up and be done with it.
Mm-hmm.
One of the greatest, if not the greatest movie ever made. Fight Club. I fucking love Fight Club. The sleeves for this thing look like the bags of rendered human fat that was used to make soap, the Paper Street soap, and the record itself. The labels say Paper Street Soap Company. This is the actual pink soap pressing. As I said, the original 2016 pressing. I am so excited to have this. The other night, I was trying to find something to watch, and I came across Fight Club, and I'm like, yeah, I watch Fight Club every time I get the chance just because it's such an amazing movie. And I was like, I don't own this on vinyl. Well, now I do. Now I own the greatest movies soundtrack on vinyl. With this big monstrous fucking thing, I can't even tell exactly what this is, but yeah, because I'm looking at it backwards. But yeah, Fight Club. Very excited to have this on vinyl. A few years ago, my wife and I went to a bookstore in St. Louis where Chuck Palahniuk, the original author or the author of Fight Club, was signing books and records and posters and whatever. And I got him to sign a huge poster, which hangs up right there, and also my special edition Blu-ray copy of Fight Club. Love Fight Club. There you go. Very excited to have this. Sorry for taking so long to ruin it. I ruined the fucking thing and it pisses me off. Now I have to buy another one.
All right. Yeah. I think I heard that.
Did you hear her say no?
I did. All right.
Sorry.
Let me
All
answer this while Jeff does it. All right. Same deal as Jeff. The Misery Index represses from Relapse. I'll show you what they look like. So this is Discordia. This was the first one where Mark and Adam joined the band. This is a really cool looking splatter. On the website, they give you a different pressing info than on the record. The record says limited. It's a 3-color merge, limited to 100 copies. This was the first album that anybody ever thanked me in the liner notes. This is awesome. I love this album. Next one was Traders. I got awesome stories about this. I don't remember what birthday I had, but Mark and Adam showed up at my friend Kirsten's house, and they played this for me months in advance. It was a great record. I feel like this might have been their most popular one. I don't know. Traders is a pretty big deal song for them. Man, there's people riding bikes in my backyard right now. I can see it. It's crazy. It's like tripping me out. I'm like, why are there lights? It's all dark out, and I see these lights, so it's like. Anywho, they're like far, far back there on this path. Anyways, I'm like distracting. The last album Misery Index did on Relapse, Heirs to Thievery. This might have been my favorite one too. This is a really good record. Cool tricolor splatter, limited to 100, much like the Traders and Discordia. Very happy Relapse did this a couple years ago. Jason's label put this out, the represses of Heirs to Thievery. One of my favorite songs by Misery Index, Fed to the Wolves, is on this album. Great shit. I'm going to save this one for last. When I came, it also came with this Global Relapse Records Contamination. It's a sampler of a bunch of bands on Relapse. I have not put it on yet. I'll probably listen to it tomorrow. Ooh, this next one's a treat. Sabrina Carpenter. Short and Sweet is the name of this record. I don't know if you know who she is. She's a pop star, but I watched her Tiny Desk a while back, and it was very, very catchy to the point where these three young ladies that I work with are big fans of her. Shout out to Nazifa, Nemesis, and Naya. Naya and Nemesis are sisters. They are like obsessed with this girl. This album is actually not bad. It's very catchy. She's very I don't know how to say it. I want to call it raunchy, but she sings with a lot of like sex. Her lyrics are very sexual. That's all there is to it. This is the pink Target pressing. Yeah, these are these are some very catchy songs actually. I strongly suggest if you have time, watch her Tiny Desk from NPR. Very interesting stuff. Not a bad record. Next thing I got, I don't know what year this was came out, but it's the first Super Joint albums, Use and Destroy. Uh, this is the one with this is green pressing. This is the OG pressing of it before I think Revolver put it out. But yeah, I've seen Super Joint Ritual a whole bunch of times back in the day before Pantera eventually just was announced that they were done. Next thing I got here is a 7-inch split from homie of our show, Yatsu. Yatsu, and I don't remember, can't read what this other band is called. Sorry. Just drop that. Look at that. Boom. I sent a picture of this to Josh a while back and pretty stoked on it. But yeah, Yatsu. Josh was on our show not too long ago. Very fucking cool grind band from the Fort Worth, Texas area, I believe. Next thing I got, I guess Rush has repressed a bunch of stuff. This is the 2025 pressing of Counterparts. When this originally came out, I'm gonna pull it out in a second. When it originally came out, the third disc had this etched on the other side, and it sells for a lot of fucking money. And I was like, damn, I want that so bad. I could not get it. I could not find it for cheap at all. I did a bad job here. I should have pulled this out ahead of time. Sorry, folks. But the repress did come with the etching, not the same one as the OG. This is like some Pac-Man shit that's on the back of the record, or the back of the sleeve. But Counterparts, this is like one of the last Rush albums that I remember liking. But whoop, whoop, sorry, I was at a Celebrated Summer a couple weeks ago with Cha and Chris Keller, and saw that in there, and I was like, oh shit, I need to get this. I talked about this with you a while ago, but like, I don't know what happened to this. This is something that Jeff bought me originally when it came out on Record Store Day. Between the Buried to Me, the Parallax Hyper Sleep Dialogues. This was an EP they put out, and then they put out like the full length, Hyper Sleep Dialogues Part Two or whatever it was called, Parallax Part Two. Um, I remember when you bought this for me, it was sealed, and boom, I got the clear copy. I don't know what happened to it. I've been looking for it on my shelf. I don't know if somebody stole it from me or what, but I rebought it because I really like this EP, and I got the clear green. I think there was 500 of each. There's like 500 green, 500 blue, clear, and maybe red. I don't know. But yeah, I rebought this because I don't know what happened to my OG pressing. I was very upset about that. I would not sell any of my Between the Buried and Me stuff because I really like this band a lot. I think it's cool stuff. Happy to re-own it. It's the last thing I'm going to share. This is cool. I didn't know idea that this existed. I saw it online one day and just found it for not that expensive on eBay. Looks like I'm holding a big fat ounce of weed, doesn't it? This is Dr. Dre's 2001. If you can see there, it comes. Look at this, buddy. It comes like Ziploc.
No shit.
Yeah, that's why I'm holding it like this.
Wow.
So I'm gonna share you with some of this stuff here, and I got some interesting stories about this album actually. Um, it's not a gatefold, unfortunately, but these are some really cool looking. I'll show you one of them. Look at that, half green smoke, half clear. Got
That's
the
cool.
grinder in there. Little known fact. So I think Dr. Dre had announced at some point in the '90s that he was going to put out an album called the Chronic 2000. And before he even got a chance to do it in the year 1999, Suge Knight had put out like a compilation on Death Row Records called the Chronic 2000. Suge Knight presents the Chronic 2000. And like the cover was like the OG Chronic with like, instead of Dre's face, there was like a blunt on it and shit. And I remember being like, man, that's weak as fuck.
That's
It didn't
shitty.
have. I think it had like the Dog Pound, and there was like a couple Tupac songs on it, but it wasn't anything special. So Dre just changed the name of the album to 2001. I think I always thought it was called Chronic 2001, but it's just 2001.
Mm.
This album is fucking amazing. This really is like, I don't know if any of you are fans of Dr. Dre. I think we've talked about the Chronic a couple times on our show. But this came out, I think, 1999, and Eminem was a big deal. He brought Snoop on it. Eazy-E was passed away, so he talks about bearing the hatchet with him on this album. But this was such a good fucking record. This was like one of the last hip hop albums that I'd really, really appreciated for many years before like starting to listen to like modern day hip hop artists. But this was a cool find. I think this was, I don't know, it was like the 20th anniversary or some. I don't know when it got released or why it was this special edition was put out. But
Mm.
I do love this album a lot. There are a lot of catchy songs on here. I think the next episode is the one that ends with Nate Dogg going, "Hey, hey, 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 smoke weed every day." Like that. There's just so many catchy moments on that record. My buddy saw him at the Up and Smoke tour, and he told me I think he's getting paid like 10 grand a night to come out and just say that one line. So
Wow.
I'm very extremely happy to have this in my collection. I'm a big Dr. Dre fan. I thought there was a lot of fucking good hits on this record, and yeah, that's my new stuff for this week. It's been a very long time since Jeff and I have been able to do an episode one on one with each other, and
Yeah.
so the collection piled up. I was pretty sure that we were both going to be sharing those misery indexes, and I'm
Yeah.
glad they. I look again. I'm so happy that they're still repressing stuff on Relapse because I love that band. They are. I think I've seen Misery Index live more than any other band that I've seen live, and just uh,
Mm.
Jason Netherton has been a good pal over the years and has always helped me complete stuff. So I don't think I'm as complete as Jeff, but I do have a lot of. If they repress stuff, I'll buy it. That's all
For
I'm saying.
sure. For sure. Yeah. I'm glad Index or Relapse reissued those.
Hmm.
The
Thank you.
2001 Chronic, I want to listen to that. I never really got into anything other than the Chronic. I should probably check that out. The fact that we both have albums from Target that were pop singers was kind of
Hmm.
weird, unplanned. We didn't do
Yeah.
it intentionally. But I listened to that chick, dude. One day I was driving to work. I listened to Olivia Rodrigo,
Hmm.
and then the next day I listened to Chapel Roan, and then the
Okay.
third day I listened to Sabrina Carpenter, and Sabrina's way better than both the other ones. I like her a lot more than
She's.
the other
Let me
two.
hold on. Let me pull up because so the song "Taste." I think like one of the main lyrics in the song is like, "Every time you kiss her, you'll be tasting me." Use your
Yeah,
imagination there.
yeah.
She was a Disney kid. There's a lot of like videos of her online, just like acting like a total adult at a very young age. Please, please, please. Good graces. Sharpest tool. Coincidence. Bedchem. Bedchem's a fun song. I like that one. Espresso. I believe Espresso is the one with Jenna Ortega in the music video. Dumb and Poetic. Slim Pickens. Juno. Juno is a song about getting knocked up, and you can figure out why they called it Juno. Lie to Girls and Don't Smile. So at some point, this album kind of turns a little country. Like she has like that like I don't know how to say it about her vocals, but it's got that like country feel to it, that country twang.
Mhm.
Um,
That
but
that picture you just showed, that's the gatefold.
of her here, and yeah, hold on.
That's the opened up. Can I see that again? I'm gonna go buy that album.
That's her.
Oh,
I'm not gonna lie. I don't think she's like super attractive. She's cute at best. She's very small, very petite. Um, I for some reason I keep finding a lot of like because these girls at my work again. Shout out to Nemesis, Naya, and Nazifa, all three of them, young ladies that I work with, and they are huge fans of her, and they always talk about her. And it's for some reason because they kept talking about her around me, videos would pop up in my Instagram feed. So in the song Juno, there's always this part where she says like, "Have you ever tried this position?" And then she'll either like sometimes she'll just like pull her hair back and do one of these, or like one time she like got down to the splits at a tiny desk. She just turned around and like her ass rubbed against a bunch of chimes. So like she's very clever with what she does. She comes out in these like over the top like costumes on the stage. I'm not gonna sit here and act like, yeah, I bought this because she's hot and I want to bang this little chick. No, the music's actually very fucking good.
She
And
is
like you
good.
said yourself, you listen to her yourself, and you even said like amongst those other women, like she's got a great voice. I think that Juno song is very fun. Bad Chem is a good one, but that's all taste. I just every time I listen to his lyrics, I'm like, wow. Like you use your imagination about what she's saying there, but like
Right.
she's great. I give her a lot of credit. She's a young adult, young woman, but she knows what she's fucking doing. She's like selling out arenas all over the country, and yeah, fun stuff. Like I just I want to expand my stuff. I know I'm Metal Nick, and people people haven't said too much shit to me, but the people that I normally hang out with, they don't like the fact that I listen to hip hop. They tease me about that a lot, and I'm like, well, it's I don't want to just be stuck in one little corner listening to one style of music. It's there's a lot more interesting stuff out there, and unfortunately, sometimes I do have to rely on pop music to entertain me. And I've spun that record a couple times since I bought it. I'm not gonna lie, it's a very entertaining record. I do recommend it if you want to listen to something poppy. And I always, just looking at her, you think she's bubblegum pop, and it's not that at all. It's really not. It's but yeah.
Right on.
April 6th, 2025, Mr. Alex Ovechkin.
April 6th. Since we're dating it, April 5th was the day that Kurt Cobain left us, and Lane Staley. Rest in peace to both of those iconic, especially my teenage years, and I know yours as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Huge fans of Nirvana and Alice in Chains, and rest in peace to both of those men who both were taken from us the same day. 23 and 32 and 21 years apart, or like
1994 to 2003, 2002. I think it was 2003 when Lane passed.
Probably 2003. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe like, yeah.
Yep.
9 years apart. Yeah. Anyways.
Anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you everybody for watching this week. This was a really fun one. We got to do the Discogs game more often, because that was yeah, you pulled some ones that like I said, I wanted to talk about for a while on the show, and I'm glad we did. So, yeah, pat yourself on the back there, pal.
Good job, Jeff. Thanks. Who said that? All right.
All right, everybody. Have a good night.